What is up, IDP Army? What is up, Underdogs, Fantasy Football Fanatics? It is your man, Jordan Reigns, at 50 Shades of Drunk, if you are on Twitter, the Cardi B of IDP. I'm sitting across from the man, the myth, the legend, Dave Kluge, and his awesome mustache. How you doing, Dave?
Doing good, man. And this is the last time you'll see the mustache, unfortunately. Did the potathon yesterday, wrap that up. So today's the first day that I haven't shaved. I'm letting it come back in. By the time we record next Wednesday, I'll have a full beard again. It
Nice.
comes in quick.
Well, we will relish in all of its glory here as we go through our Week 13, rankings briefly, and then we're going to do an underdog head-to-head draft. Week 13, I mean, Dynasty is starting to shift over to off-season talk, Dynasty season. We're going to take a quick peek at some Dynasty information that we get coming in hot off the presses December 1st. But before that, we'll let you hit this intro, and then we'll get you going. All right, welcome back. Like we said, Week 13 is here upon us now. We're going to talk briefly about some rankings, some Dynasty ADP, things like that. But Dave, you just finished up with the Dynasty Mailbag show, and I know you guys, one of the big questions that you got led with on the show was about DK Metcalf. What was the sort of consensus that you, Troy, and Victoria kind of, came upon with your DK Metcalf roundtable, shall we say?
Well, I mean, you should know, you've been following me long enough. I mean, that was a stance that I took in the offseason that I got a lot of grief for, is that I was fading DK Metcalf this offseason. And we saw it last year. As a rookie, he showed some flashes, and then in year two, he came out with a bang, and everybody immediately was just like, well, this is the new Dynasty wide receiver one. We're moving this guy up above everybody. Devontae Williams, Tyreek Hill, doesn't matter. DK Metcalf is that guy. And I just couldn't really get behind it. I thought that was a little bit too reactionary at the time. And then wouldn't you know it, on the back half of the year, he finished as the wide receiver 37 and was just ice cold. So I wrote an article this offseason, and it wasn't a huge knock on DK Metcalf as much as it was like a love letter to Tyler Lockett. I think that Tyler Lockett is just such a good wide receiver. He out-targeted DK Metcalf last year, and he's just become that safety valve for Russell Wilson. He has stepped into the Doug Baldwin role where he's getting the short passes, picking up the yards after the catch, getting the tough first downs. So I never really bought into DK Metcalf. What we saw last year early in the season was him just bullying people and beating them with his size, beating them with his strength, and beating him with his speed. But he doesn't really have that technical ability as a route runner. And he said that in the halfway point. He did this show with Brandon Marshall where they asked him, they said, what happened? You started off the season so hot and then you slowed down. And he said, well, we were just running, and then we'd hit the deep pass. He goes, and they took that deep pass away from us. So people are sitting here making comps to DK Metcalf, talking about how he's going to be the next Calvin Johnson. He's going to be the next Randy Moss. Well, guess what? Every defense tried to take the deep ball away from Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson, and they couldn't do it. So the fact that defenses just said, hey, we're going to take the deep ball away from DK Metcalf, and they did it easily week in and week out, that had me worried a little bit. 50% of his snaps last year came on either go routes or slant routes. He doesn't have that really developed, diversified route tree, and it is showing right now. So, when you look at his muscles and his speed and all that stuff, sure, he's a very fun player. But, I think he's kind of more of a boomer bust wide receiver too than he is a wide receiver one in Dynasty and redraft.
Yeah, I mean, that seems kind of spicy and hot, but if you've been in the Dynasty community for a while, I mean, you can look back at the list of guys who have been the quote unquote the Dynasty wide receiver one.
Juju.
You can backtrack it.
Michael
Yeah, we can
Thomas.
backtrack this. It's been Metcalf, it's been Juju, it's been Michael Thomas. At no point were they, truly that. Who else was it there for a little while? Amari Cooper, the Dynasty wide receiver one. OBJ, the Dynasty wide receiver one. At no point when they were given those titles, though, did they ever really live up to it. So I would just say that's kind of it's a spooky title to get. It's almost like the Madden cover. It almost jinxes you, I think. So in the offseason, you're definitely going to want
to talk about AJ Brown this offseason.
Yeah.
Everyone was beating the drum for AJ Brown being the wide receiver one.
Yep. See there. Yeah. There's something to that. So I wanted to bring up something really quick here. Let me share my screen. We got some fresh information today on the old Twitter sphere, courtesy of Ryan McDowell from DLF. He has the ADP. This is the Dynasty ADP for round 1 as of December 1st from the powers that be over at MFL and all those other places where these things can be found. So I want to take a look. Let's talk about this. So right now, this is this is not super flex, obviously. So the top 12 picks according to ADP in MFL, I think that's where it gets this, is Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Najee Harris, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase. I don't know why I blanked there for a second. DeAndre Swift, CD Lamb, Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey, DK Metcalf coming in at 9. That is kind of interesting to me. Tyreek Hill at 10, Pitts at 11, and 12, Alvin Kamara. There are a lot of things that stick out to this for me. I'm just going to start by saying there are several players on this list I don't think deserve to be here. How do you feel about it just overall?
I mean, well, first of all, I'm a little curious where the ADP comes from. I wonder what the sample size here is because, I understand there's going to be some changes in season, but a lot of these just really jump out to me as kind of weird. Seeing Jefferson hold 2 spots ahead of Jamar Chase. I thought that Jamar Chase at this point would be pretty firmly ahead of Justin Jefferson, given his age and what he has shown as a rookie so far. And, Justin Jefferson's had a great start to his career, so I guess that isn't too crazy. Najee Harris, though, even at number 3, that's another one that surprises me a little bit. I mean, the opportunity has been there, but I'm not somebody that's really been blown away by his talent, and I get that's kind of a spicy opinion here. You're not allowed to say anything bad about Najee Harris because he's producing, but that production has been very volume-based more
contrived.
Than it's been him.
That's how that thing is. That's how all Steelers running back production is and has been since I've watched, basically been paying attention to football. It's been contrived.
Le'Veon Bell,
he was contrived.
Conner, yeah,
he was always. the most. Le'Veon Bell was the most contrived fantasy running back of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen
the dude doesn't. He's not on a team. He got cut from a team that has Latavius Murray and Devonta Freeman on it right now.
Yeah.
He got
Tyson
cut
Williams
from that
beat
team.
him out. Tyson Williams beat him on a roster spot. That's all you need to know.
I'm just saying.
I'd be taking DeAndre Swift firmly out of Najee Harris right now. That's one that I'm not even thinking twice about. I do love seeing Joe Mixon getting some respect up here, though, at number 7. I mean, you know me, I'm a Joe Mixon fanboy, so seeing him getting moved up those ranks, I absolutely love to see that. Metcalf being at 9, I think might still be a little bit high. And I'm kind of shocked that Pitts is as low as he is. He is putting together one heck of a rookie season. And
I thought it was too high.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I think that, I was expecting a down rookie season for Kyle Pitts, and he has had some monster games already as a rookie,
he's had the yards. I just worry if my problem with Pitts is even long-term with Atlanta. Like, who's throwing this guy the ball that's better than Matt Ryan? Okay, probably a lot of guys, but there's a good chance they miss on quarterback because everybody seems to miss. So then what's he get? And the guy's only scored 1 touchdown this year with no real competition. I mean, I know the yards are definitely there, but I'm worried. I have some hesitations with Pitts.
Now, see, I had some hesitations in the offseason in redraft. I didn't expect him to do anything in redraft this year, but he's already had a handful of 100-yard games, and he's looked dominant. And for me, the approach that I take to Dynasty is I don't look at situation whatsoever. You're playing for the long haul. I look strictly at talent, and right now, given age and talent, Kyle Pitts is, the number 1 overall tight end. I've got him ahead of Kelsey and all those other guys just due to his age, and him showing that he's already able to produce as a rookie, as a tight end. I think those are strong indicators that he's going to have a really, really good career. So I'd be okay taking Kyle Pitts and, like the top 6 of a startup.
I mean, damn. All right. I guess I can see it. I need to go. What this is telling me is I need to go trade Kyle Pitts in the 1 league I have him. I'm just going to say a couple of macro things about this list. Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill at 10, I like. DK Metcalf at 9, I think that's too high. I think we have too much young talent in the NFL right now that has shown more well-roundedness at other, not even just the wide receiver position, guys that could go there. I would be fine with Saquon in that spot. I would be fine with even Mark Andrews in that spot. Maybe not in that 9 spot if we're going to say Pitts is the one, but I think he deserves to be top 12 pick over Metcalf, certainly.
I think Kamara being in there is shocking.
Kamara in there is shocking as well, and to think Zeke is not. So, like, Zeke not being on this list, but Kamara being on it is weird to me. Just they're just – I think this is indicative of the fact that there's a lot of value still being shaken out right now. Mm-hmm. So – I'm not saying you should go do startups or anything like that, but I think across leagues, you're going to be able to find people that do over and undervalue assets right now. Maybe that's the best way to say it. And so if you have strong convictions about a younger player, and maybe people are kind of, like Jalen Waddle, someone like that, who you think could be the next Juju, the next OBJ, be the wide receiver one for a year or whatever. It could happen. So AJ Brown not being on this list too is weird.
I was going to call that out, but I was just about to. One of my favorite times to do dynasty startups is right when the season ends, because those people are still scarred and it's fresh. I did a dynasty startup last March where I got Ezekiel Elliott in the 3rd round, Joe Mixon in the 6th round, and Deebo Samuel in the 11th round, because those were players that were all coming off injuries, and it's just, people are so reactive to injuries. So when you have, if you're doing these early off-season dynasty startups, that's the time where you just go get those injury discounts, just cash in every single round. And AJ Brown is a guy right now that, realistically was going top 3, top 5 just a week or a few months ago. And now if he's dropping into the 2nd or 3rd round, I'm taking AJ Brown all day.
Yeah, we got a comment here from
Javonte,
Billy.
though. That's a good one.
About Javonte, I got to pull up a tweet here that's funny. Okay. This is a good one.
I'm with it on Javonte, though.
This is from our dude, Mike Me Up. I'm sure you guys know who he is, BDGE. One of the boys over there. He's a homie from the Dynasty Nerd days back in the day. He said the who can rank Javonte Williams higher contest has everyone so far out of their skis that it's comical at this point. KTC, what is that exactly? Is that something
trade cut?
Okay, keep trade cut. Okay, is that a calculator or like a website?
Yeah, they just do Dynasty Rankings.
Okay, currently has him as Dynasty RB4 overall. I love Javonte, but at this price, bell cow volume is already assumed, which was never there anyway. Honestly, this is absolute insanity for him to be number 4.
That's crazy.
Like, where is Austin Eckler? Like, I just have so many questions on who these Dynasty people are out here. And like, I get wanting to like have it in for your guy, but I mean, if there was ever a sheesh, this would be it.
Yeah. I mean, Stephon Diggs is another one that seems like a pretty big omission.
I don't know.
Here's
my thing with Diggs, and we're kind of on a tangent, but I love this because Diggs has always been valued as like a high-end wide receiver too. He's been that way.
Last year he was,
and then last year he blew the fuck up, and he was suddenly a top 3 wide receiver. This year he's doing exactly what he's always done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And maybe he really is closer to that. And that is another usage case or example or whatever of how reactionary the Dynasty community can be. We have one epic season from him, or even Justin Herbert. I think people are starting to get a little bit worried about Herbert low key. I think they're going to see a lot of thought pieces in the offseason about Justin Herbert. But anyway, I guess we should give the people what they want. They want to hear how we're attacking the Underdog fantasy football slate this week and making them some money, right?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get her on and popping. Let me see here if I'm Twitter screen sharing properly. All right, shut that one down. All right, I sent you the thingy, so I think you should be able to hop in there now.
Yep, I am. You ready?
Give me 3 seconds. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, we're in it.
All right. So for anyone who is a first-time listener, viewer, whatever, first and foremost, thanks for being here. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up and the subscribe button if you are on YouTube. If you follow along on a podcasting platform, you can hit that follow button there too. But Dave and I are going to go head-to-head on Underdog Fantasy. We got $5 on the line. And the winner gets to take home 9. Underdog takes home $1, and we have a good time. So, Dave, looks like I got the 101.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Oh, looky
there. Man, this is tough. This is a great slate for running backs if you're at the top end. Taylor gets Houston. Mixon gets LA. All right. How are our wide receivers stacking up? Ooh, this is a nice wide receiver week too. Kupp gets Jacksonville. Justin Jefferson gets Detroit. Chris Godwin, or it looks like Adam Thielen's moved up the ranks a bit.
Quite a bit. 4th
Yeah,
overall.
I was going to say the underdog rankings. They're pretty skittish.
Mm-hmm. I think I know what I'm targeting here. Interested to see what route you take. So you're on the clock. Who are you going with here, man?
I'm on the clock already. Shit, you already know I'm taking Taylor.
Yeah, it's tough not to.
Big dog.
You're
gonna take Mixon. You have to.
No, sir. I am double dipping on wide receivers early here. I love both of these matchups. Cooper Kupp against Jacksonville and Justin Jefferson against Detroit. Those are just too easy.
Too easy, he says. All right, well, if you're going to let me take Joe Mixon, a guy coming off a 25-point game, a 25-point game, and a 30-point game, I'm going to do it, Dave. I'm going to do it. All right, so now I got 2 running backs. I need to look towards my wide receivers now. Ooh, or I can go tight ends. Actually, I'm going to take a look at wide receiver quickly here. You know what? I'm going to get in on Adam Thielen. He's been having a nice little run here, getting his targets. Shout out to my boy Kirk Cousins. All right. See what Dave's going to get from the running back scrap heap.
Well, the nice thing is I could just wait on running backs. You already took your 2. I know who I'm taking. There's no reason. So I'm going to go get the guy right now that I have as my tight end 1 this week up against Pittsburgh. Give me some Mark Andrews right here.
I took Mark Andrews, you bastard.
And then I'm stacking him up with my QB1 this week as well. So I got that Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews stack, and it looks like it took him earlier going 3-4, but knowing that you already have both of your running backs, I don't have any running backs. I'm okay waiting.
That's honestly very frustrating because I wanted Mark Andrews. All right, get away from your quarterbacks. I'm going to take Chris Godwin. No, I'm not. I'm going to take Mike Evans versus Atlanta.
I like it.
Now I'm back up again. Let me check out this board real quick. So I got 2 picks. So I got my quarterback and I get my tight end here. I'm going to go quarterback. Man, I'm taking Brady. Even though Brady's not been super great the past.
Ice cold last week, man.
You know what? I'm going to go with my dude who's hot 24/7, 365, Kirk Cousins.
There you
Haters
go.
will say I don't really love him, but I do.
Now, see, what I did is I paid close attention to how you drafted because I wanted to take both of these running backs early. But like I said, you took your 2 running backs right off the board right away. So I knew I could wait. That's why I got the guys that I wanted at tight end and quarterback. And these are my 2 and 4 running backs this week. Austin Eckler, who's just a smash every single week. And then Leonard Fournette up against Atlanta coming off that huge 4-touchdown game. So I'm liking this squad.
Nice. Let me finish mine out. I'm taking Gronk. Because Kyle Pitts is fake.
No Kittle. All right. Huh? Kittle just going undrafted.
Yeah, Kittle's
even
a joke,
with
dude.
Debo out.
You want to pull some? I got some bookmark tweets we could pull up real quick on some 49er shit. You know what I mean? We'll save that for a different show.
I got a lot of 49ers.
We gotta go through. We gotta do a bookmark show. We gotta just live stream through our bookmark tweets.
I don't have a single bookmark tweet. I got to be honest with you, Jordan. I don't care about what content other people produce. People that are going out here just trying to clown other people's takes, that's not something I do. I don't bookmark tweets. You know, people come at me.
It's not even like that though. It's like now that you can organize your bookmarks. I got like business meta, I got writing tips, I got all marketing stuff, I got all kinds of crazy bookmarks, and I got fantasy takes too. Just gotta keep it organized. But
yeah,
all right. Let's walk people through these teams, and we'll walk them through our Twitter lives another day. I went with Kirk Cousins. He's been balling all year. I'm a Kirk Cousins stan. I'm a true OG Kirk Cousins stan since the first day he took the field for the Redskins. I've been in his corner. Dude's a baller. Now he's got all these advanced metrics that let all these other people say he's a baller. That's great. He's been a baller, straight up. All right, and then I got Jonathan Taylor taking on Houston's crappy-ass team. I got Joe Mixon. These 2 boys are hot right now, and they're very hot in a market where we're missing a lot of the hotness. CMC, Dunzo. Dalvin Cook, Dunzo. Derrick Henry, Dunzo. Alvin Kamara, Ben Dunzo. Zeke. We don't know what's up with that. You know what I mean? And, Leonard Fournette showing up here and there,
Aaron Jones out.
Exactly. So Jonathan Taylor and Joe Mixon are like, they're the big dogs right now. They're healthy and they're getting the work, and their teams are doing good and they're doing well.
Disrespect to Austin Eckler, man.
Oh, okay. I'm not. Austin Eckler's. you're gonna give Austin Eckler all his love. All right, just let me do my guys right. All right, then I got Adam Thielen. I stacked him with Cousins, which I love. I got Mike Evans, another dude I stand with. These guys are older. I mean, Mike Evans 27, Adam Thielen 31. Doesn't matter. There still can be wide receiver ones each and every week. And then I got Gronk. Honestly, Gronk's like back from the dead. And I mean, if you watched him play 2 years ago, this is not what it looked like. He looks good right now. So kudos to him. And it's good to have him back. Honestly, he retired too young, I always thought. So.
Yeah, man, I'm liking the team that I build here. I mean, I obviously started off strong with the wide receivers. Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson are the two best wide receivers on this slate, in my opinion. You got the two top running backs. I got the two top wide receivers, so I'm pretty happy with that swap there. And then I also got my tight end one and my quarterback one stacked up, Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. Austin Eckler, he's a smash. He's my third overall running back this week. And then Leonard Fournette, there's definitely a little bit of risk there with Leonard Fournette, but this team has just shown that they are committing to him. I think the only downside to Fournette is that Tampa Bay goes up, 3 touchdowns before halftime, and Ronald Jones gets some run in the second half. But hoping that they can just lean heavily on Fournette and he can eat this weekend.
Yeah, I like the Fournette play. He's playing well, and really Bruce Arians. He's had some really productive backs. We know Tom Brady is starting to, can make his running backs gold. Fournette, again, in a market where we're losing guys left and right, Leonard Fournette, RB1 season,
I will say, I was torn between Fournette and Madison because I think that Madison up against Detroit can have a huge week. But I was just afraid that having Alexander Madison and Justin Jefferson would kind of cannibalize my team a little bit, having a wide receiver and a running back on the same team and not stacking with the quarterback. I was worried that could, limit my upside. So that's why I went a different route there.
Yeah, I get it. I've done it before. It gives you opens you up for more touchdowns or less variance, I guess, or more variance. Right. I don't know. Whichever one's the good one. All right. Well, those are our teams.
Before we sign off, I want to throw something out here with you. We were just talking about this on my last show, and we opened up the show talking a little bit about Dynasty Rankings. You just drafted Adam Thielen, so it just works really nicely into there. We were having a discussion about Allen Robinson's dynasty value, and we were throwing some names out there. But one that really intrigued me, and I want to get your take on this: Adam Thielen, 31 years old, or Allen Robinson, 28 years old. Who do you prefer right now in dynasty? Adam Thielen, who's been red hot, and Allen Robinson has been ice cold.
Right now to finish out this season.
Dynasty.
I want Adam Thielen for 2 reasons. One, right now he's actually helping me win. And 2, when it does come time to flip him, which I probably won't do, I actually am a big fan of just letting guys go out on my team. I don't always have to flip and get out early and all that stuff. That's fine if you can do that, but that's not the point. But you're going to be able to trade Adam Thielen for more too, straight up, just because he's done more. The age won't bother people when they look at Allen Robinson and see how nasty it's been, because that's what we are. We're creatures. We're creatures of habit. We're recency biased people. And we're going to tell ourselves 31, and then we're going to go look at, guys like Jordy Nelson and Larry Fitzgerald, and we're going to say, hey, Adam Thielen fits that mold, and guess what? He probably got another good year. He'll probably got another top 18 wide receiver season in him. He could easily hit double-digit touchdowns again with the 18-game season. If Kirk Cousins sticks around there, Justin Jefferson gets hurt. There's so many things that can happen where Adam Thielen's value just stays super high. And then let's say he does leave the Vikings, which I don't want, because I do want him to stay with Cousins because he's a great quarterback. Even if he goes somewhere with a subpar quarterback, Adam Thielen is a great wide receiver. And I'm not knocking anything about sound. Yeah, technically sound, and he's got notes for the end zone. He can do big plays, and he can do, he has a way of moving his body that's similar to Travis Kelce. They have just a very unique, kind of a soft way they move. And I think that's going to extend his career. So I'm in on Adam Thielen. And that's not to shade Allen Robinson, but I'm just worried that he's going to end up with finishing his career out again with some other crappy quarterback. He's going to go somewhere that doesn't
New York Jets link up with Zach Wilson for the twilight of his career.
Yeah, or end up out with just anybody that's crappy. Just name Cam Newton. What if he ends up out there? Or what if he ends up down with, I don't know, down in Miami, and they keep jerking Tua around, and Tua plays 50% of the games his entire career. He's there all the time, and he gets to play half the games, and they put some other guy in. That's just the situation that I feel like Allen Robinson is going to get, because that's been his whole career so far. It's just been getting the shaft, unrealized upside. So,
Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I think that Allen Robinson is who I'd be preferring over Adam Thielen, but you make a strong argument. And I was just talking to Harif Hassan, who's a beat reporter for Minnesota Vikings a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how one of the reasons Justin Jefferson has been able to break out is because of Adam Thielen, because Adam Thielen came into the league and he wasn't exceptionally big, strong, fast, or anything like that. He just worked his butt off to become one of the most polished technical receivers in the league. And that work ethic and that just, that mentality of just being a student of the game and studying and getting better and sharpening your craft has passed down from Adam Thielen to Justin Jefferson. And it's just bringing out the absolute best in him.
Yeah. He's got a skill set where he's going to be valuable for Dynasty for a little longer than I think people realize. And again, I don't know the Allen Robinson thing just comes down to just right now. Like right now, Adam Thielen is better. He's worth more. That's who I want,
Yeah.
And Allen Robinson, things have to break a certain way for him to even reach that same level, so that's my take on it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's just my take on it.
I like it. And hey, that's what it's all about. It's having differences in opinion here.
Yeah. And I know he's younger and a lot of guys play the age game and stuff, but it's funny who,
almost to a fault though. You could almost go out and just consistently pick up cheap guys that you can plug into your starting lineup because they're 28, 29 years old.
Here's a perfect example of here's a perfect example of what I mean. Like Mike Evans, people think he's an old receiver. He's the same age as Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
But I've never seen anybody put Mike Evans like in the top 10 anything ever.
Never.
Basically like maybe his second year out, but he's been so good for so long that it's like people just bury his ass. And I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense. And so all of a sudden this last year, Stephon Diggs has a year that, fucking Mike Evans puts up a year like that. Like
every
90% of that every single year. 90% of what Stephon Diggs last year, every single year, and he can't break into the top 10. But we put Stephon Diggs right behind Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. It's just like, okay, what? I mean, like, but Mike Evans is old. Guess who I got on both my Dynasty teams all over? Mike Evans and Stephon Diggs. Why? Because people forget before last year, Stephon Diggs was just a touchdown guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 or 4 years ago, he was just a receptions guy. And I'm like, you're not paying attention, okay? You're not paying attention, So the upside, Stephon Diggs always had the ceiling, always had it. Even when he was a wide receiver 2, he would put up wide receiver 1 weeks, like the wide receiver 1 week.
Yep.
Dominant. He would get 2 or 3 a season where he'd go like 30 plus. And it's just like, not everybody can do that. Yeah. Not every player in the NFL can do that. That's why I play Mike Evans every single week. Stephon Diggs every week. I'm like, yeah, we joke, 2 targets, 2 yards, I don't fucking care because that motherfucker's put up 40 for me and got me wins.
Yep.
And I know he can do it again.
If you don't deserve me in my 2 for 2, you don't. What is the saying?
I don't know.
You can't handle me in my, you don't deserve me in my whatever.
Oh, yeah. You can't handle them at their best. Worse, you don't deserve them at their best. Straight up.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how I feel. So same with Kirk Cousins. Everybody trying to get on Kirk Cousins. I'm big bitter out there on Twitter. Everybody being on Kirk Cousins now. I'm like, y'all fucking hated this man. Y'all treating him like crap, and now you all want a piece. Come on now. Stop it. All right, well, that's pretty much everything from the Underdogs. We did a little Dynasty mixed in with the Underdog Draft of the week. Check out the link below if y'all want to play Underdog with me and Dave. I'm sure this offseason I plan on doing, a lot of Underdog Drafts. It's where I play daily fantasy. They have best ball. They have tournaments. They have a lot of really cool stuff. So the content will be flowing on this channel for the Underdog platform. If you are interested, please sign up and join us on this journey. If not, we appreciate you being here anyway. Because we're talking all things fantasy football. It can help you across the board. So, Dave, any final words to say to the people before we bounce?
No. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you again next week.
All right. Peace out, y'all.